Greetings, I am Liz, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are at this choice, and we are going to find the way.
Alright, so we're gonna do either you're putting your life on the line for your beliefs, I have a passion people respond to, you care, others will see that and listen. But again, I'm like, you're putting your life on the line for your beliefs still to me is confusing. I'm gonna go to war to stop war is confusing?
I said none of those work very well for me necessarily. On the other hand, again, I'm not him, because you have a passion people will respond to. It sounds like you're guaranteeing or promising something. You care, others will see that and listen, also sounds like you're promising something.
I mean, the thing is putting your life on the line for your beliefs. I mean, yeah, you're putting your life on, but I don't think it's going to be effective.
Well, the first two don't, the very first one doesn't sound like a promise of any kind. It's just a description of what I perceive.
I mean, he's willing to assign plenty of things to people, so,
And I'm just like, okay, so, and then in that case, then maybe he will describe what he thinks reality will be like this person. Or it also sounds like a false comfort. You have passion. People will respond to. It's going to happen.
Or again, going like, I need you, like, my acknowledgement, so that you know how I have had that question before where I go, what do people see in me? And I don't understand it. And you go,
okay,
this is who you are, like, this is really obvious to me, I see it all the time, these are things that are on your mind, and I go, oh! I don't see those at all, but cool, because it's really hard to perceive for yourself, so somebody going, hey, you know, you do care, so others are going to see that and listen, because this is literally a part of your character, you cannot not be that.
But you can't guarantee people will listen because of it.
They might listen, but that doesn't mean they do anything.
It also doesn't mean they'll listen. There's been things I've cared about that people will not even listen to me. They just cut me off constantly or just walk away.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Like, just because someone cares.
Alright, we're just going to pick a thing. Bye, I'm going to put your life on the line.
I mean, the third one, I like it. I like it. It just isn't something that's true.
That doesn't matter. People lie to each other all the time.
Exactly. And I think it works very well.
Alright, you care. Others will see that and listen.
And what if people listened? How do I know that what I'm proclaiming is what's right?
You're a scientist, are you not? Mathematician.
What of it?
You can't know you're right, but when there's new data, you adapt your theory.
Ah, it's a
Breknizik did in a duel with Aller, remember? She could have destroyed his career. But something changed in that lecture hall. But she wasn't, it's okay.
Something changed so that she wouldn't destroy his career? Was she trying to do it originally in your assessment? Alright, she acknowledged his efforts and respected him.
Actually...
Yes, together they accomplished so much more.
It's true, but also, like, respecting people hasn't really done much when you're trying to actually have change.
But also
because if all the opinion that you're trying to change is a no, and nobody else will listen to anything else, you literally cannot have a conversation. Just need to go, okay, your opinion then doesn't matter, and you don't get to be a part of the conversation, we're going to move on without you.
Say, if you respect absolutely everyone's opinion, then you will end up in one of those societies where a society, to be a tolerant society, it must be intolerant of intolerance.
Yeah.
And people go, well, you're intolerant of me, so you're not a tolerant society. I'm like, you're literally being intolerant of other people, so that's unacceptable. Yeah, but society needs to tolerate me because that's what kind of society it is.
No.
And they have found that every time people try to be a completely tolerant society, the intolerant people rise to the top and take over everything.
They do!
Because, you know, that's just how it works. Alright. Yes! They accomplish so much more. I wish I could be as sure as you are.
Like, stop middle grounding this. You've studied mathematics. You understand odds?
Of course.
Oh my god, do you?
Do you, sir?
Sir, are you mansplaining to the mathematician?
That's what I was going.
I would bet on you. I'm sure your professor would too.
It does sound like something she would do.
We played her, and I don't know what you're talking about. Based on all you've told us, it seems the changes she brought were not just for her, but for everyone.
I am not aware of her, M's position on helping or supporting other people. It wasn't really part of the narrative.
No, that's why I'm like, what are you talking? Oh my! I'm like, this is what I said.
And there is a suggestion that M was good with the students later on and afterwards, you know, but not necessarily that it was a let me help you, let me do office hours, let me support your dreams.
One of the things I think is really funny about M's theory of change, as it were, is about going, a change must be maintained, but let's say you go into a classroom and everybody hates you, everybody around you has to make a change to go that this is fine. that M came in here as a woman and we all believe that she shouldn't be here. Like, let's say, you know, you go to a school that's all for men. They are the ones who have to make the change to accept that. Right. And if you never do that, guess what? It doesn't matter how much she changed. If they reject her, she's dead.
I think I've got it. Okay, so if you go into a place, let's say the school, that is prejudiced against you, it's in there, it's systemically within the school, okay, the system of the school, not necessarily outside of it, we'll just focus on the school, right? And a piece of it has gone, all right, you did well enough that we would be okay with letting you teach. We're not making you a professor, we're not suggesting you could be one, but we're going to let you teach. You go into a class that is systemically taught to be against you, but quote, you've proven yourself, so this is okay. Then the school continues to be systemically against women. There are no other women there.
Nope.
There aren't even any women students at this point. No women of any kind in that entire campus, right? And so it is still prejudice against women, but you are the one exception. You are only the one exception so long as you continue to be valuable, interesting, and exemplary. Otherwise, any misstep, discomfort, or like thing that you do that's inconvenient,
any whiff of misconduct,
or inconvenience.
Yeah.
Like, she offended me. She made someone else feel like they were as insignificant as Zoller felt.
Right.
She made someone else feel that they weren't as good as her. She offended some other man's ego. Then it's I'm going to start complaining about her. I'm going to invoke the systemic prejudice against her. And your class isn't going to be prepared to defend you unless they've all changed their beliefs rather than just their current behavior of, sure, I'll attend a class taught by a woman.
Anyway,
what do you mean by that?
Let's find out what he means by it. She did not just focus on her own theories. She changed something in others around her through her teaching. She taught
She taught people out of systemic discrimination against women, which is great in a really tiny environment, but I doubt it had a bigger effect. And I'm not saying that I would want it to have a bigger effect, but based on my experience with the history of feminism, it is unlikely.
Usually, again, you must riot or protest. There is no amount of, I will just wait.
It has to be changed, usually in government. So the thing is most systemic oppression, and all of it that I'm familiar with, is enforced or supported and designed into the government system you have. Mm-hmm. And so without changing the government system and the laws and dictates and taxes and whatever else it is, even if everybody sort of casually changes their mind of, hey, we'll just treat women better, if there's still a law that women can't buy houses without the signature of their husband, it doesn't matter if the realtor thinks you're fine and doesn't believe in it. The law has to change.
Yep. It's kind of like, even so they have ridiculous laws on the books now, they've talked about it, like, where they don't come into play anymore. Blue laws. But, like, that is actually a thing that somebody could technically enforce.
My mom actually talked about some of the blue laws when I was a kid for Colorado, because that's part of where I grew up.
Right.
And she talked about how there was one that it was illegal for a man to see his wife naked in a room with the light on. Uh-huh. Because it's improprietous, you know?
Oh, of course.
And going, so if you've ever seen your wife, if you have one, naked, and you are a man, and the light was on, or not, you know, it wasn't dark, you could be in trouble.
Yes.
And it's just one of those, and the thing is, as far as I know, it may or may not have been removed from the books, it's just not really addressed anymore. But yeah, there are some fundamental things. On the other hand, some police officers have talked about looking into really obscure laws because you can't enforce them.
To get better
pay.
Them. Yeah,
to get better pay, numbers,
better notoriety,
more people into the system.
Yeah.
And I can too.
Woo woo. Boo boo.
We're almost there.
Then I must change. My men must see me in uniform.
Even though it's really strange to walk into a place in charge of people. I will say that.
Yes. We're coming to the station. Where's Paul? He left just after you did.
I don't think he'll be joining us at the front.
He won't, if he gets shot deserting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran away. He must still be on the train, though. I will go and look for him. Why?
Oh, dear.
Just leave him alone. You have to convince
You're not particularly tall.
Soldier, did a man pass through here?
No, sir!
Carry on, then.
They're like, oh, shit. Yes, sir! You are in charge. Shouldn't you have a hat with your uniform?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I think it was so that they could just, like, show you who he was.
I guess it would make it easier to recognize him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe holding his hat, then?
Maybe.
The little swooshy arms is kind of charming.
Paul!
Oh. He just moved, you know?
You're leaving us?
Are you going to try and stop me? Warning from the police? You don't seem to think much of yourself. You never told us if you painted your own pictures. I mean, he kind of told you, but indirectly.
Yeah, like, I think he wants, like, you say he wants a more direct than, basically, tell me about what's going on. What, like, do you, like, not value yourself? Do you see, like, is that what's going on?
Well, and the thing is being more disarming is going to be, you never told us if you painted your own pictures.
Uh-huh.
And it's less, it's a little, like, a little less, like, demanding, because it's us, not me.
Right.
But it is also going, hey, we were talking about this thing. So instead of going in, let me talk about the thing happening right now, it's let me try and connect to you first.
Right. You never told us if you painted your own pictures.
Why would I? I'm a forger.
For a friend? Someone you love?
Yourself?
Or for yourself?
Yes.
Not for profit. Just for you.
I love that that's there. No. Why would anyone look at them? I am a nobody. What makes you think you know me, son of a baron?
Fair, actually, and that's a good point. Also,
by the way,
you are at much less risk than him. There is a huge power imbalance here. He is far more likely to get shot compared to you. You are more likely to basically be caught and captured. Assuming even, like, I don't remember when the Geneva Convention came in, but, like, you are way more likely to not suffer in the same way, based on what I recall of history. Now, I could be wrong, feel free to correct me, but I'm just like, the class divide here is huge. This is sort of shitty.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, there's a chasm of class difference here.
Yes. Son of a baron. I don't. We are all questioning ourselves, aren't we? Like, can I get you to leave?
Oh, wow. I think
I mean, he was questioning himself. They were all questioning themselves.
Yes, they were all questioning ourselves.
We are all questioning ourselves, aren't we? But think about it. Copy Marquer one last time. He didn't shy away from a challenge.
But even he didn't dare paint his greatest critic. So he never painted... Yeah, okay. So part of his canon story, no matter what you do, is that you don't paint her.
I guess, maybe? I don't know.
The train is slowing. Will you sound the alarm?
No, it's your decision.
You're right. You will make a good leader.
I'll do my best.
Please, leave me now. I have a decision to make.
I don't do it. Fuck. Gentlemen, we go to different battles, but I would be proud to have you in my command. I would do everything in my power not to fail my men. If I fail them, I would be failing you. My name is Albert Vogel. Everyone calls me Bert.
Shake hands with him as brother. I imagine you get to do both.
I hope so.
I would just do the one that's closest, so you don't walk past them. Theodore Leschner.
Otto Dorfel.
I like the name Dorfel. It's cute.
It is cute.
I hope we haven't dramatically mispronounced anything in this game.
Oh, I bet you we have. I'm not even
concerned.
In 1914, shortly after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, men were drafted. It was the beginning of the First World War. Yep. I don't actually know much about the First World War. All the classes that I ever took had nothing to fucking do with it. Because, of course. Otto went to war to defend his family and his country. And I say of course, because as an American, I will totally say that we are deeply obsessed with World War II. I can't even tell you how much, even before I got into high school, and like how much people just would be talking about the Holocaust and talking about World War II. And I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve attention, but it's stunning to me to just realize how much Americans, particularly because of with the rise of basically like the alt-right and other things like and like the KKK
and return to traditional values,
how much is just slammed into World War II and the Civil War.
And to value on it, if we were fighting for right and truth and, justice.
And if you know anything about the history of the Second World War anyway, you'd probably piss off most basically Americans, and I'm talking about US people here, that really actually don't know what was going on. That the United States didn't participate until basically we were almost forced to, because they finally went, we might actually be in trouble. We were staunchly against getting involved in the war. It was pretty bad, actually.
And helping anyone.
Yeah. We're not interested. Oh, no. We're here to help people. Yeah.
But only, if we are in danger, not if you need help.
Yeah.
Like, people had asked for help a lot, and we'd been like,
before.
We prefer to stay politically neutral.
One time. Anyway. Otto went to war to defend his family and his country. As he lay dying, looking up into a darkened sky, Wilma's song was on his lips.
Oh, that's so dark.
Because they're all dead. Shortly after his arrival at Camp West of the Drina, Paul shot himself in the foot. He eventually returned to Vienna and Freda.
He found a way out without deserting. I damaged myself so that I couldn't be the useful soldier you need.
In the 4 years of war, something inside of Theodore changed. Pursuing a career in politics, he swore to prevent another war at all costs.
That doesn't sound like something inside of him changed, but I don't know.
That sounds like what he was exactly doing, yeah. Wilma's music wasn't successful. But seasons pass, and the world moves on.
Everyone loved her concert. It was the talk of everywhere, but it wasn't successful.
Right. But one day, Wilma returned to her hometown. While she never stopped writing music, she took up teaching it.
Which I imagine she was successful at?
I guess.
Okay.
One late autumn afternoon, a woman stepped into Leos Bodoni's inn. She sat down silently. When asked what she'd like to have, she smiled and answered.
A plate of your world... a plate of your world-famous dumplings, Leos. That looked... Okay.
That was because Wilma went to the inn.
It just looked like a grab to me.
I was gonna say
grab.
It does!
Grab.
I said grab. The music that brightened the early years of the 20th century...
Thought hard.
Fell silent after the outbreak of the war.
Oof. Are we suggesting she wasn't successful with her music simply because of the timing?
Franz Marquer must have done something to change his grandfather's mind. He began climbing again soon after his grandson's success.
What? Change his grandfather's mind? Has his grandfather stopped him from climbing?
No. Franz changed his grandfather's mind on his position of he hadn't been climbing
that
for
he
a long
couldn't
time.
climb when he couldn't climb
because he was
forever.
old.
And then he went back to climbing.
I guess,
yeah.
yeah.
I read that opposite and I was like, what?
Right? Franz became a central member of a new art movement in Vienna. His unique view of the world inspired many across all disciplines.
So far, his is the only one that sounds like it really went where he was hoping it would go.
Right.
Oh.
Franz was drafted 1 year after the war broke out. In the brief quiet before dawn, he drew the layers of his comrades. In 1918, Gustav Klimt died, marking the end of an era.
There we go.
Emma Reknesek moved to the United Kingdom, accepting an offer to become a lecturer for mathematics at a university in Yorkshire.
A more progressive location and a genuine lecturer.
Where is Nenner?
I don't know.
Like, throughout the 20th century, many scientific discoveries were credited to Emma's proof of the Reknesek state.
The changing but sustained change.
Emma kept writing to Nicole for the rest of her life. But you weren't friends! Sorry, I'm just mad.
You failed to become friends, or you didn't become friends. We only failed to romance. We didn't become friends.
Nicole found she didn't hate quite as many things as she used to.
She also looks adorable. Because, as a little kid, she was just like, I hate my nanny, I hate my parents, I just hate things.
Right. Yeah. During the war, the University of Vienna was transformed into a military hospital. But lessons continued to be learned wherever students and their teachers could meet.
And the sick probably learned as well.
The First World War came to an end in 1918.
What does this have to...
The total number of military and civilian casualties amounted to more than...
a lot.
38 million lives. A lot. Which is, again, really funny when I say going like, and Finn.
And we never hear about Nenner at all, except he's gone missing. Also, we don't really... we don't hear much about, the little girl's uncle either and his inn. Like, yeah, go get dumplings, but I wanted to learn more about him.
Right?
But also, again, what is the point of making choices that changes the outcomes of their story if there's a final, complete end that says it all happened this way? Does this ending change depending on what you do in the other 3 games?
Oh, that's what I said. We honestly don't know. My assumption, based on what happened there, of going like, you failed to be friends with this person, going like, it sounds like there is an actual true ending to the game, more or less. But Oh, heck if I know.
Well, additionally, if basically these outcome scenes, because that sounds like historical facts, not these will be changed depending on what you choose.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I could be wrong. If anyone else has played this game, you're totally welcome to weigh in and be like, yeah, those factoid, montage scenes change depending on what you play in the other 3 games.
Right.
Or even in this game. I would be very interested in that, but I'll probably just look that up on my own. But like, there is this thing of going, I have forever, and I talked about this briefly in one of the other previous sections of this game, wondered what true ending means, and why there are other endings if you have a true ending. And this one, the way it's wrapped up, feels very much like it explains that answer. It says that no matter what you chose and what you experienced, at the end of the day, here's what happened to those people. Anyway, and you can try and experience and have fun with other things, but they didn't actually happen. They're just things that could have happened when you got to experience them.
Right.
Sort of like, you can make AUs of your characters, but there's always a can in one.
Right.
And I like that it's explained clearer in that way, but I wonder how most people think of true endings. Because it's been one of the things that's bothered me about stories, the newer multiple choice stories that I've encountered, being framed with that true ending thing and going, what does that mean? And I wonder if there's a more unified cultural description, because I haven't really found one at this point.
Well, it also seems to be a little silly because, like, so the true ending in some ways going like, well, you didn't see all the content, you didn't answer all the questions exactly perfectly, kind of thing. So, your character should have lasted longer. So, it reminds me, okay, so our decisions here. Episode 4 closure also took the money. 13% were also able to escape police.
Oh, so we were more successful than a lot of people, I guess.
All right. Also used snap bangs in the market. 8% also encouraged one of the men. Also, oh wow, okay. Of all the soldiers mobilized in World War I were casualties.
So hang on, is that something we affected? We can affect how many soldiers were casualties in the actual World War?
What?
Hang on.
That one doesn't make any sense to me.
That one I don't. Let me try reading it again.
57% of all soldiers mobilized in World War I were casualties. Is that just a factoid?
It sounds like that's a factoid. I
What?
don't know.
I don't.
And if it is, that'd be
understand.
completely different than everything else. That doesn't sound like a choice.
Anyway, I forgot my point that I was making before this.
Sorry, because it just sort of showed up.
Yeah, it surprised me. Sorry, I was not sure. So I guess that's the Lion song. Obviously, you can go back and you can replay the game. As far as I understand, it's I don't know, so don't quote me on this. But from what I have seen, it seems like you have to be able to pay, because we haven't tried to go back and actually replay the episodes.
It either has limited replays or...
And then you have to go back and then you have to pay basically
or
a
you
season
have to pay
pass.
for them.
Yeah, or you have to basically when you bought the game, assuming that we even bought the game, because I don't know, because like again, when we got this game, so I got this as a free download from the Epic Store, I have no idea
how that works.
How this works, because they talked about going, yeah, we really wanted to use the season pass thing, and that's also then where I found out going, yeah, we don't want people to believe though that because we're using season passes and that because we're releasing episodically that people think we're an indie studio. We're not. We're a big huge AAA studio, I promise. So I genuinely don't know. I am frustrated with this game. I don't know, like, it's interesting, and I was really hopeful when we started, but I feel like this descended really quickly into just, again, Franz's episode starting to literally make no sense. Like, the lines just did not follow. I could not understand what people were saying, and the basically the tone of the dialogue, that's just where I lost basically all trust in what the choices were. I was like, I have no confidence in what's going on here. I don't know these characters very well, and then like some of the stuff with M, when you're gonna bring in like gender discussions or whatever else, I wasn't sure. I was like, are you gonna deal with more of that? And then also trying to understand like, what do you want us to do about the answers and how we're supposed to answer, air quotes, supposed to.
If it's going to a like basically a true ending, then there is something you're supposed to do.
Right.
And based on the way it wrapped things up, it continually felt like there was something it was hoping we would do.
Right.
Because the way some of these, like here, the statistics don't feel like they're judging you. This particular ending, it's just also took the money. There is a little of were able to escape the police instead of did escape the police that suggests it was what you were supposed to do.
Right.
I was going to say, in the same way that there was a level of going, failed to do this relationship suggests that's what you were supposed to do.
Right.
And those kinds of things make me wonder, because I'm like, is it a game to get to the end of a game board with things you are supposed to do?
Right.
Or is it a game to explore where you can just find out all the things that are there?
Right.
And it was interesting for me, but yeah, the whole gender not gender thing was interesting. It was also interesting for me in the sense of going, oh, this is a trans narrative, and then going, well, you can decide if it's a trans narrative, but then you get to the end and it goes, no, this is not what's going on.
Or again, that's why I was like, is this a trans narrative? Because I just don't know how to deal with it. Anyway, so I will say, great points for this game. Looks gorgeous. Like,
So,
I love the pixelation. I love the style.
These two don't have a replay them.
They do not.
And these do.
Uh-huh.
Does that mean these were ideal outcomes? Or this one could be a factoid and therefore it doesn't have a replay, but this one's not a factoid. It's a choice.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Also, encouraged one of the men. What does that mean? Like, encouraged one of the 3 men in your train car?
Made them feel better about themselves, tried to encourage. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Anyway,
I'd have to go look it up.
Does it take us back to the beginning?
It does.
Okay, it does.
Oh, do we have a connections gallery? Really
I was
quick?
gonna say, is there other stuff? Since we're wrapping this up here, let's see if there's anything else just present in the base.
Alright, welcome to the
game.
Connections Gallery. Every connection you have discovered between episodes is stored and displayed here. Remember to visit from time to time to see what has changed within the gallery.
Okay, that might actually be helpful to help us understand what they were going for, actually.
Oh, we have more stuff that's not there.
Dear Arthur.
A passionate letter to Arthur by a woman named Greta.
Okay.
Oh!
What?
The Greta! The fucking, the critic! The one who, like, he slept with her.
He didn't necessarily just a passionate letter doesn't mean you necessarily got.
No, but remember all the series of letters? She's like, after last night, blah, 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 whatever. They did have a relationship.
Oh,
Arthur.
So Greta is the one, the art critic is the one who was involved with the violinist person.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. No wonder she's so fucking bitter about men.
Right?
Like, that guy's an asshole.
How inspiring. Wilma discovered her sketch by Franz Marquer. It turned out to be an inspiration.
Okay. And then do we keep walking?
Episode
Yes,
2.
yes.
Oh, episode 4.
Yeah, you
we got
walk
it too.
around the gallery. Okay, this is neat.
Oh!
I like this piece.
So there's a lot of stuff, though, that we're missing.
Well, of course there's, and then you go back and unlock it. It looks like the painting is cracked into his head.
Alright, here to stay. When Clem obtained the first Marquer, he knew it was a keeper.
And that's it. It almost
It hit him in the head.
It hit me, but I was like, it literally just cracked
Elusive
into your skull.
Emile allowed Franz to paint him, but regretted it afterwards. But why?
Yes, why?
We never...
That one's not engaged with, and even here it's not engaged with.
No, that's
not?
one of the things actually that we were both confused by, going like, what happened there? It was I should have never done that. Why? What was wrong?
What happened?
Arthur Caban is always present at important society events. He loves to socialize. Arthur Caban was the dude who was in the background.
The waiter. He was great.
No, he wasn't. Arthur Caban was the professor who slept with Wilma and Greta.
Oh, God.
He was the guy who was all the way in the back.
Right, that one.
Because we never actually got to talk to him.
Continued to have new liaisons with young, talented women constantly.
Nice little tune. The gramophone at the salon plays a nice little composition by Wilma Dorfel.
Except for she's not popular and wasn't successful.
No,
It's
not
fine.
at all. But that was, I still don't understand how she just lost popularity. I understand that can happen. People can be fickle in that way, but I also was like, what?
I also am having an interesting thing of going, okay, so her concert was, as far as I interpreted, a wild fucking success.
Uh-huh.
Look at that Klimt painting. That looks great.
Alright.
Yes. Oh, you can play
Oh, you can
here?
talk to him?
You can interact here?
What?
Wow! Why did you become a professor? How did you know Franz Marquer's work? If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
How did you feel when you discovered my true identity?
Who? Oh, that's Nenner?
Yeah, that's Nenner.
Fucking, this is
Oh, so I said you
went?
could talk to him. You could talk to Nenner.
Nenner left the game to go to the post-game? That's how he got lost?
What?
Nenner is super meta.
This is... Okay, so what do you want to ask? Just start from the top? Why did
Hang on.
Because I don't know how many questions you can ask.
You know what? Let's try how to discover when you discovered my true identity. Because it was a really unusual experience for him to go, we're not friends
So,
anymore.
and this is again why I go, my true identity. I don't think the game was doing a trans narrative.
Well, that's why it is, because it's my true identity, not that I was also something else.
Right? As you can imagine, it was quite the shock. I knew you were different, but I would have never expected that. To be perfectly honest, I did feel betrayed.
Damn.
The person I met and got to know was not who he seemed to be.
But also, again, if your theory, if he is gay, he'd feel more betrayed because he was falling for you.
Well, and that was what I thought was interesting, going like, oh, you just subverted it.
I'm hurt.
But also, literally, just to cause more drama and also hurt gay people? Like, again, I'm like, I appreciate the attempt, but it just seems mean.
I was gonna say, and the thing is
here's your crumbs, are you satisfied with them yet? You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and it would be, like, you feel betrayed because this could have been something really valuable to my life, and now it doesn't exist.
How dare you? I am very sorry about that. I didn't know how else to get my voice heard. I know. And I have made peace with that. You are still my dear friend, after all.
Are you?
You disappeared!
Let's see. I was gonna say, yeah.
I guess you can just ask all of them?
Yeah, I guess. If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
Except that one of the questions disappeared.
Yeah. And the thing is they're shifting a little bit depending on what you ask, and I imagine that's what's going on. But I really want to know more about him.
So, well, if you could change one thing in your life, what would that be? Because you'd need to know...
what would that be? Going, like, basically, if you regret anything, what would it be? Who are you? If you could change one thing in your life, what would that be?
Quite the philosophical question.
Are we good friends or not?
I think the only aspect I would like to change would be myself.
But what? And why? Again, you're not who you seem to be. Who is that? I can't imagine anything about you. It should be different.
That's kind of you to say. But the things I think and feel, they must be unnatural.
Which sounds gay. Yeah,
you sound gay. But you showed me that maybe I'm not that improper.
Oh, God. Okay, stop for a second. Him going, I know, I understand that I'm gay, but it's deeply unnatural. It's inappropriate. I should change who I am. But since I was profoundly attracted to you more than anyone, like spark, massive crush, kind of love at first sight, I want that person, I adore them, I'm fascinated by them. You're a woman. Maybe I'm not gay after all.
Oh, no.
That's what that sounds like to me. That sounds like maybe I'm not as inappropriate. Even if I'm no longer attracted to you, or I'm deeply uncomfortable once I find out you're a woman, I go, I could be okay. Maybe I could not be gay and inappropriate since I was able to be attracted to you as a man.
I was about to say, that just went bad.
That's a narrative that I have seen a lot in society. People going, basically, that narrative right there. And it's not fair and it's not appropriate because there's nothing wrong with being gay. But historically, and still now, there's massive prejudice against it in the right places and things like that. And it's not widely accepted despite it being widely visible. And just going, that's what that sounds like to me. One,
I feel like
I am gay. And two, since you're a woman, maybe I'm not actually broken.
Oh, God. Why did you have to make that bad? But it is kind of bad, actually, when you really do think about it. You're going like, that's why I was like, interesting subversion, but also... And then you're going to turn around and you're going to say this, you have the potential for me.
But also, I don't know if they're going to be explicit about it. He just said unnatural. Maybe people are more complex than that. Maybe I can be attracted to other people. But they're not saying it out loud.
They're not. Again, like I said, here's your crumbs.
It's implied.
Do you like them? Maybe people are just more complex than that.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I know you don't. That's perfectly fine. Perhaps that's the reason why I feel so comfortable talking to you.
I love the fact that I won't be laid bare or exposed to you, even though you're my close friend, or that makes us closer. How do you know Franz Marker? If you could...
Why did you become a professor?
Okay, it stayed there. Yeah.
That story is atypical, I can imagine.
How so?
Well, I started off studying theology.
Theology?
Yes, it seemed to make sense at the time, finding truth and purpose in religion. But at university, I discovered the sciences, and math in particular, and it fit. While studying, my friends were constantly asking me for help. I had a knack for explaining even the most complex functions. To be honest, I didn't understand why my professors weren't explaining it the way I did, which apparently more students understood.
So you took matters into your own hands?
Basically, yes.
Alright, so then how did you feel when you discovered your true identity? Wait, we get to ask that one?
We already did this one. How'd you feel when you discovered my true identity?
My true, sorry, I read that one wrong.
Alright, so we did this one, and this one, so I guess Franz Marker and his
there
work.
we go. How do you know Franz Marker and his work?
Oh, I saw an article about an exhibition in a newspaper, and well, the pictured painting spoke to me. So intrigued like I was, I went and took a look, and...
And did you like the paintings?
They are marvelous. Marker seems to capture the pure essence of his models. No secret can hide from his brush, except just himself.
Right.
And the way he portrays his models, gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all there is.
And that's it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. And then
so alone in the city?
There's a little girl.
There's Nicole. Leos never made it to Vienna, maybe because of his talk with Wilma?
What? Was he trying to get there?
Among the tenants, Nicole spots Wilma, the composer that set out to make it in the city.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Upon finally making it into the radius secluded back room, Emile notices a familiar song.
Okay.
A special paint. Klimt buys the only remaining jar of paint from the herbalist.
He did it. He got the color.
Wow.
I wonder if that's actually a piece of his real history, of going, there was this one color that he used in this one painting. I'd want to look that one up. That sounds like fun. Closure. Where are the connections?
Oh.
We missed a lot of them.
God, we really did.
Alright, Wilma at peace.
Joseph Marquer.
Ah, good day.
What do you think of Franz becoming a painter?
Huh. At first, I feared for his mental health.
Aha!
And his financial security.
Say.
You see, I don't trust people Franz started to mingle with. And according to the critic, they're not real. Oh, sorry. In the end, I just want him to be happy. He seemed so sad before. Well, if he thought he was an incomplete person. And there is a narrative of a couple of people going, I'm not appropriate, I'm not complete, I'm not whole, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, you don't trust the people?
I had an unfortunate encounter with the so-called high society when I was young. And hot-headed.
What do you know of Greta Lundquist?
I wonder if that was his experience dating the actress. Going, I got involved in high society, it went poorly, she broke up with me.
Yeah.
And that was the flame I could never resolve.
Okay.
Alright.
How do you know Greta?
We met when I was out with Sir Tuttle.
Sir Tuttle? A mountaineer.
No, my Scotch Terrier.
Oh!
She was walking her baby dogs, and we started talking.
What was the most dangerous situation you ever faced?
Oh dear. I was young, high society, beautiful young lady. Her fiancé was not too amused. He started a fight. I didn't hold back. Oh, you destroyed someone.
Oh, wow.
I never showed up at the duel. Cowardly? Maybe, but I'm a terrible shot. Wait.
Wow.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wilma at peace. We don't have. Wilma eventually returned to her hometown and started teaching music. So
Did
that's
it make her happy, though?
We don't have the rest of the picture, though. Part of the gang.
I was going to say, I wonder if the rest of those are about Wilma, or if they're just other people's things, though.
Emma sided with Zoller, and the radius stuck her photograph next to the group photo.
Yep, there's that one.
What a waste. Youthful and brimming with energy, Otto lost his life on the battlefield. So, what a waste. Never too old. Joseph, changed by his grandson's success, regained his vigor and took up climbing again. Harsh reality of art, there we are. Even though she had fought hard for it, Wilma's concert didn't turn out as magnificent as she had hoped. So you're supposed to fail.
I say, I'd be interested.
Or this is just basically pieces of things you can get.
All the same.
Yeah, even though successful, Franz was drafted and sent to war.
Yep, the movement.
Franz became a central member of the New Art movement in Vienna. So yeah, because these are all the answers. That's interesting.
And so if you choose other things, you can unlock them, but I don't think it tells different things about the same person.
Huh.
I think it just adds more pieces. This is interesting, though.
Like, okay.
There's a lot you
I
can
guess
unlock
that gives me a different perspective on some of the questions and answers that they...
Some of the statistics
that they put out there, but I don't know. Anyway, so we looked at a lot of this. Please feel free to check out this game for yourself. Yeah. If you liked what we do, though, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Holy
Absolutely.
Cow.
That was a journey.
That was an experience, I gotta say. But yeah, so please feel free to go like, comment, subscribe. We always love hearing from you. It actually also supports us in regards to the algorithm, because it does tell YouTube, hey, we have an active channel, people like what we do, so it's more likely to promote us, etc. Honestly, though, no obligations, like holy cow. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon if you'd like to support the channel more directly. Also, please feel free to go check us out live on Twitch. We would love to see you there. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!